Swindon Town Football Club, all set for one of the most important games in the club's history. The Wiltshire town of Swindon is also set. Over 30,000 fans will travel to the country's top football stadium, to the Twin Towers of Wembley. Behind them, all the hard work of a season full of ups and downs, of pain, sweat and sorrow. After just 90 minutes more play, it will either be all worthwhile or it will all have been in vain. Here then is the local sport Wembley Preview. Hello there and welcome to the county ground for our local sport Wembley Preview as we take a look ahead to Swindon's most important game ever when they go to Wembley on Monday to play Leicester City. Well, do stay with us because coming up today we have a whole host of reports taking a look at the players and their style of play and also what happens if we make it up into the Premier League. We'll also be talking to some of the people behind the scenes here at Swindon Town Football Club. And as if that wasn't enough, a little later on we'll be reminding you of Swindon's last successful visit to Wembley under the Argentinian manager Ozzy Ardiles. That's coming up a bit later, so do stay with us. Well, as we've mentioned, the big match is taking place on Monday. It is, of course, the finals of the playoffs and their opponents are Leicester City. Now, anyone who's seen Swindon play this season will admit that their style of play deserves to be played at the very top of their profession, and that surely can only mean the Premier League. That's something that the players and the management team confidently agree with, as John Gorman told us at the very start of this season.
It's always exciting, you know, it's very exciting to start it, and I think this year especially because we feel we achieved an awful lot last year without actually getting where we deserved, and we're hoping that we'll put it right this year and be in the rightful place where we should be.
So this is certainly going to be Swindon Town's season?
Well, we're going for it, that's for sure. We feel we've got the quality, and as I say, we steer clear of injury, and we've added a couple of new players, which is, gives us more power to our squad, and things are looking good.
Well, a lot of hard work since then. That was pre-season training. Well, as Swindon Town will tell you, all their hard work will count for nothing unless they can win this next big one. Having said that, of course, they have provided the fans with some entertaining football throughout the season, and our own Nobby Swatton has been looking back.
The new season started with a new striker, Craig Maskell replacing the long-departed Duncan Shearer. August saw a great start to the season with 3 wins in 4 games, including a 4-3 away win at Bristol Rovers. The first defeat didn't come until the 5th of September with a 2-1 reverse at Millwall. The town's first televised live match with Oxford finished all square at 2 apiece. October started badly with a defeat at Portsmouth and a great win at West Ham. But it also saw the end of their Coca-Cola Cup hopes with a 1-0 home defeat by Premier League side Oldham. November saw a brilliant display at Newcastle, holding the Magpies to a goalless draw. Only 2 games were played in December, both finished in 4-2 defeats, at home against Derby and away to Leicester. And if that wasn't bad enough, the town took an early exit from the FA Cup, losing by 3-0 at Queen's Park Rangers. January saw just 1 defeat, and that was at Grimsby, but winning maximum points at Oxford and at home to Wolves. Paul Bowden scored the only goal that day on his way to 11 for the season. February saw victory over 3 fellow promotion candidates, Tranmere, Portsmouth and Millwall, all foul at the county ground. As did mighty Newcastle when they paid a visit in March. And at the end of the month saw a spirited performance at Brentford. Steve White and Dave Mitchell had both been sent off, but the town hung on to finish with a goalless draw. The most incredible result came at St Andrews, Birmingham, where City had a 4-1 lead with just 27 minutes left on the clock. That was until the town scored another 5 to win 6-4. On the following Saturday, Leicester went home with a point in a 1-1 draw. With the town's playoff place assured, West Ham came to the county ground, still in with a chance of automatic promotion. Swindon's biggest game of the season witnessed the Hammers win with confidence. And so, to the playoff semi-final with Tranmere. Town scored 2 goals in the first 3 minutes of the first leg and scored another just before half-time to have a clear lead. But the Rovers got one back in the second half to set up a nail-biting second leg. The fans travelled in their thousands to Prenton Park. Could the town hold on? The answer, yes. After the game, we witnessed some incredible scenes ever seen of football. The home fans applauded and congratulated the town fans. Shirts, scarves, hats and all sorts exchanged hands. New friends had been firmly made. So now, it's on to Wembley.
It's a good goal team to see. And if you know there is the rain, it's enough to make your heart go. We don't care what the animals say. What they'll be there. Cause we only know that there's gonna be a show on the Swindon. Yes, mate.
Great scenes then of celebrations from Tranmere. Well, before we go any further, we're going to take you back just once more. We're going back to the start of the season as the team gathered here at the county ground for the photo call. Nobody knew just how far Swindon Town would go this season, but everybody hoped and everybody had their fingers crossed. Have a look back at an almost identical lineup that's now available for the playoffs, as was available for the start of the 92-93 season.
Fraser Digby, England under-21 international, who missed most of last season through injury and loss of form. Nicky Hammond pushed Digby all the way last season for the #1 spot and will do so again this year. David Kerslake, fast, versatile player who has attracted several big clubs but has stayed loyal to Swindon. Sean Taylor, player of the season last term, big, strong central defender who likes to score goals. Colin Cudderwood, Mr. Consistency, that's why he's captain, always gives 100%. Ross McLaren, injury caused him to miss the last quarter of the season, one reason why Swindon Town didn't reach the playoffs. Adrian Vivash, big, tall player who likes to go forward. His chances were few and far between last season. Paul Bowden, Welsh international who returned home last season after an unsuccessful spell at Crystal Palace, a vital link in the town's cog. Nicky Summerby, son of a famous father, possesses a dynamite shot. It could be his year this time. Nicky Hazard, ageing midfielder who works hard for 90 minutes. He makes the town tick. Martin Ling, hard-running player who causes havoc when he goes forward. Could score a lot more goals. John Moncur, bought from Tottenham last season and will have the opportunity to assert himself amongst the elite. Paul Hunt, a youngster who is on the verge of the big time, if given a chance. Steve White, a back injury kept him out for most of last season. Despite this, he scored 15 goals. We'll be hoping for better times. Dave Mitchell, Australian international with an eye for goal. Could be the kingpin now that Duncan Shearer is gone. Craig Maskell, bought from Reading in close season, a proven goal scorer in the lower leagues. Sean Close warms the sub-bench on many occasions, but deserves more chances in the first team. Dave Bennett, a broken leg in pre-season, could spell the end of his career. If not, he can still be a great asset. And finally, Glenn Hoddle, player-manager who possesses great skills, could be a future manager of England.
Well, it's interesting to note that the one player missing from the lineup now is David Kerslake, sold of course to help keep Swindon afloat financially. A win on Monday, quite ironically, could solve most of Swindon's financial worries in one foul swoop. And how many of you would have highlighted new face Craig Maskell to become Swindon's top goal scorer? Well, the excitement has been building for the last couple of weeks, and the realisation by Swindon fans that they were through to the finals after beating Tranmere really set their hearts alight. Swindon fans are used to getting excited. For many, the last visit was the chance of a lifetime to see their side playing at the country's most prestigious ground. For many, however, this will be their first Wembley visit. The events that have gone by in the past mean that both the fans and the players have a score to settle with Wembley and the Premier League. Football fans in Swindon don't have to look back too far to remember Swindon Town's last Wembley appearance. Under the Argentinian Ozzy Ardiles, Swindon played their way to the playoffs. And it was thanks to a Wembley goal by Swindon's Irish international Alan McLaughlin that Swindon won the final. The celebrations began with the realisation that Swindon Town was about to join the First Division. The whole town was in a state of celebration. An open-top bus ride through the town brought unbelievable scenes as the crowds gathered to cheer their heroes home.
Well, obviously, you know, the celebrations last night, it hasn't really sunk in yet, but when you see all these people who've come out today, you know, the realisation is that they're going to be in the First Division.
Unfortunately, just weeks later, those tears of joy were turned to tears of sadness after it was announced that the club were to be demoted 2 divisions following a scandal regarding illegal payments to players. It was just too much for those fans who'd waited a lifetime for the dream of Division 1 football for the town side. It was time to protest at the harsh and rather badly administered punishment that the town side and its fans had been dealt with. Again, mass crowds on the streets of the town, this time protesting as loudly as possible. Huge amounts of people marching for a cause. So many people, in fact, that they formed a human chain around the town. Their actions weren't wasted. Swindon was finally placed into the Second Division and left to heal its scars. Scars which only now are being healed and forgotten amongst its fans. Many of the 1990 team lineup may have gone, but the club goes on, and the fans know that if the players can pull it off this time, it's for keeps, and according to them, they'll be up where they belong. Well, it's easy to see how the people of Swindon have become so emotionally involved with their football club. Well, you may remember that last time Swindon played at Wembley, they took with them over 30,000 fans, and this time round the number looks to be even greater. Well, Swindon Town have learnt the hard way the secrets of mass ticket selling. This time round they were ready when the tickets went on general sale. Queuing for Wembley tickets. It's all part of the build-up to such an important game. Last time Swindon were in the playoffs, there was utter confusion. The sheer quantity of fans turning up for their tickets overwhelmed the club, not used to dealing with such vast numbers of fans. This time the club had it organised thanks to club secretary John Pollard. John and his team had already made the necessary arrangements to sell tickets before the away leg of the semi-finals at Tranmere. Fairly was the watchword. Regular fans with vouchers and season ticket holders were able to purchase their tickets before they went on general sale. And when they did, the fans were prepared to queue for many hours.
6:20.
6:20?
Yeah.
Tell, is it going to be worth it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Dare I say, look ahead. Tell us what you think the final result's going to be at the end of the day.
3-1 for the town.
Since 7 o'clock.
Since 7. Obviously worth it.
Well, yeah, I've come a long way.
Where have you come from?
Essex.
From Essex?
Yeah.
Are you a regular supporter of the town then?
Oh, yeah.
Dare I say, what's the final score going to be at the end of the time?
3-1, same as it was before. In 1969.
You're that confident?
Oh, yeah.
The final score, Swindon's going to win. 2-1, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who do you think might score first?
Oh, what's his name? Mitchell.
Yeah?
Yes, yeah, Dave Mitchell scored first.
Sounds as if she doesn't agree with you, really.
No, who do you think then?
You're not saying anything. You're looking forward to going to Wembley?
Yes. Looking forward. Going to sing Here We Go, all the way.
Oh, yeah. Have you
Yeah.
been practising?
Yes, certainly.
Can you give us a quick burst?
No.
3-1 Swindon.
Yeah, pretty confident about that.
Easy. Yeah.
Easy?
Yeah. Bowden, Sean Taylor and Mitchell.
You've got it all worked out.
Yeah.
Are Leicester going to be that easy to walk over, do you think?
Not if they put their central defender up front, Steve Walsh, but I think they'll do it anyway. They'll be confident, I reckon.
Looking forward to the Wembley trip?
Certainly, yeah, if I can get a ticket.
Some fans tackled the situation by camping out in the car park all night, only to find that in the morning they were in the wrong queue. The match should be a sellout. Both teams allocated 35,000 tickets apiece. And that means that on Monday, the town will be missing a large chunk of its population. Swindon fans will sit at the same end they occupied in 1990, the West End. And whatever the result, the fans are sure of a great day out. It'll be a sea of red and white. Well, we've already mentioned the excitement mounting for the big game on Monday, and in a moment we'll let you hear Swindon Town's song. Yes, the chance for them to relax. They recorded a song. It's called Up Where We Belong. That's in just a short while. But first, with me is local sport presenter, lifelong fan of Swindon Town, Nobby Swatton. Nobby, let me start by asking you, can Swindon come away on Monday from Wembley victorious?
I think they can, Paul. All the omens are there. Leicester have never won at Wembley. Swindon have never lost. And also the pitch, that's going to be a big important factor in the game. It's ideal for Swindon's style of play, the passing game, and I think they're going to do it.
Well, let us just look ahead for a moment and glance into the future. What happens if they actually do make it up into the Premier League?
Well, obviously it's Premier League football. It means a lot of money to the club. Ground improvements have got to be done. They've got to strengthen the squad. So therefore, the money aspect is the biggest factor, really, unfortunately, with getting to the Premier League.
Now, it is an important game for Swindon. What are the implications, do you think, if they don't actually make it up into the Premier League?
Well, so unfortunately, it's First Division football again in the following season. The money's not going to be there. They just get a small ITV rights, very, very small. And they've got to strengthen their squad, really, if they want to make a big push the following season to get into that Premier League. But it's going to cost an awful lot of money.
I mean, people like Glenn Hoddle could say that's it.
Well, Glenn could, but we've been talking to Glenn. He's told us before he's on a 3-year contract with Swindon, and he intends to see that 3-year contract out. Whether or not you move on, we don't know, but I've got a feeling that he won't move on anyway. He's going to see that contract out.
Now, the opponents for the big game are Leicester City. They're not going to be a pushover, are they?
Well, they're not, Paul. They're no mugs. They were at Wembley last season. They lost out, maybe on a controversial penalty to Blackburn Rovers. It's going to be tough. They've got to watch Swindon. They've got to watch Joachim. He's very, very fast. He proved that at Kent Ground before he was sent off the other week out here. But he's a very, very fast player, and he can get into spaces where other players don't get into. So they've got to watch him. But as I say, they're no mugs. And Leicester, they're going to go for the same as Swindon. They're going for the Premier League.
Now, looking ahead to the big day itself on Monday, the excitement is building. What must the players be thinking?
They'll be very, very nervous. Hopefully Swindon won't be so nervous as Leicester City, but it's when they come out at Wembley there and there's a massive red and white and a massive blue and white, the old nerves will be tingling, they'll be eager to get on with it and get that out of the way. First 15 minutes is going to be very, very vital. Both sides got to settle down, but it's going to be a very nerve-wracking day, not only for the players, but also for the fans as well, Paul. Remember what you were like at Tranmere the last 5 minutes? The old heart was pumping. It's going to be exactly the same at Wembley again.
Now, any tips for the fans who'll be off to Wembley?
Well, all I want to say to them is enjoy themselves. The stewards are there to help them at Wembley Stadium. If they've got any problems, see the steward, and they'll get them put right. But as they say, enjoy themselves, have a great day out, and let's hope that they get Swindon there in their Premier League, and I'm looking forward to coming in that motorway at the end of the game and seeing the massive red and white as we come into Swindon like we did last time. Absolutely fantastic. But most of all, most important of all, make sure you lock your doors and your windows before you leave. Burglar's paradise in Swindon on Monday.
Nobby, thanks very much. Well, let us take time out now and turn our attention to music. Swindon Town took time off in the playoffs to record a song. It's called Up Where We Belong. Here it is, to pictures gathered from the local sport library.
So near and yet so far. We have tried so hard to make it. Now the chance is here, we'll take it. We'll be up where we belong. Oh, how we tried.